Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Functioning Chat with Kettle Kitchen. I'm glad you're able to be here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up two of the cutest people in the world, Dale Lisa, 9 Acre Family Farm. And then there's Michelle and JJ from Big Valley Living. Thank you for coming in.
No. When did y'all come from Georgia?
I wasn't being specific where my accent was coming from. I just kind of melded a bunch of things together.
He's from the United States.
The U.S.
United States. That's the United States.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how are you guys? Hello, Mr. Rooster.
Hi.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
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 Wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. We have another person, but they're getting a beverage right now. So when she comes in, we'll bring her up.
Whoa, they're getting a beverage?
Not an adult beverage.
Oh.
A get me through this live beverage.
Okay.
So while we're waiting on her, I'll say hello to Dark Lord Minute, Mimi's Dishes, Mud and Mascara, Joe Fix It For You, Rena LaRue, Pike Creek Farm, Miss Renee's with us, Suburban Hillbilly, Big Valley Living, those shady people.
Well, that shady dude's out driving somewhere right now.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess you're the shady one today.
I'm the shady lady today.
Then we have Susan Ty. Hello. How are you? And look who popped in the show. Hello.
I just got a notification. Kettle Kitchen is live. Sunday Functioning Chat.
So you thought you'd come over and visit? That's kind of cool. Thank you.
Wow. You're welcome. No, I had to go. I had to have coffee.
Yeah, I said you were getting a beverage, and Dale went off the deep end. So
Oh my!
It's the beverage lady.
Yes,
the
beverage lady. There you go.
I want to know how big today's mug is. What size are we working on there, Ginger?
It's about a 32 ounce.
There you go.
Quart size cup of coffee.
There you go.
Awesome. All day long.
So I hope everybody's week's going well. I understand it's busy for everybody from what it sounds like. And I know that we're all getting into gardening season.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ginger, you're not doing any gardening, are you?
Nah. None whatsoever. Yeah.
Lisa?
Right.
Yes. We are doing some gardening.
You and Dale, who does more gardening? Okay. JJ, Michelle, I'm assuming the both of you do the gardening.
I do the weeding. He does the feeding. We both do the planting and harvesting. And it's been raining, so every day when I get my stuff on to go outside, it's sprinkling, and I'm not going to sit in the mud. So I think tomorrow is my big day in the dirt.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. So I was trying to figure out what to talk about today, and through conversations I had with other people and thought process, I guess, is the easiest way to put it. I wanted to talk about helping, caring, and respect within reason. So I notice I'm going in and out. So if I go out and you guys don't catch something I say, will you please let me know?
You're really clear here, just so you know.
Okay. So basically what the conversation really is about is be cautious of how much you help people out. And there's a reason behind that. There's nothing wrong with helping people out. There's nothing wrong with caring about what they're doing. And there's not anything wrong with respecting them as content creators and whatnot, and providing what you can to them. The problem is I see a lot of people, it seems to be that a lot of people are overly helping, and then they start running into a schedule issue, or they run into I don't have my content out, or I don't have this. And Dale, I'm going to steal a line from you, and I hope you're okay with it. We were talking earlier, and you can only take so much water out of a stream before it dries up, and that is a very valid point.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta be willing to help people, but to a point that you're not creating your own demise, because then you're not helping anybody else. Okay, and I know all of us sitting right here on panel, and a lot of people that are inside the chat are helpful. They help people when they can. You know, we're caring people. We try to do what we can without, I would hope, without then sabotaging ourselves. So that's kind of where I wanted to have the conversation. So what do you guys say?
So, yeah, kind of like you stole a little of my thunder there, but
Yeah.
You can have it
it's
back.
okay. You know, we've had that conversation, Tony and I, and have had that conversation here just lately. And, you know, it's not towards anybody in particular for any of us. It's not towards people that we deal with every day in life, you know, like some for me that I think about is not have does not have anything to do with YouTube or anything like that. But, you know, I use examples like I was talking to a friend earlier, you know, like at work, how many times do you give so much of yourself to overdo your job when you were paid to do a certain job?
Right.
And then you keep giving and giving and giving and giving to the detriment of your family time, of your health, of your, you know, a tree can only give so much fruit before it starts sacrificing its own self, you know.
Mhm.
Oh, look at you, are full of these analogies today. I love it.
But at the same time, I for one struggle with this because I'm called by Christ to help others in need. You know, it's a basic principle that we're all taught with, whether you're Christian or not, that, you know, you are to be there to help others
Right.
when you can. But at what point do you finally draw that line and say, okay, I can't help anymore? You know,
Right. I think I want to say hi to Don Ray B and Teresa J that popped in here. Hello, guys. I think, and just to reiterate more or less what you said, but overly emphasize what I was talking about, was, again, it doesn't mean that you can't help people out, but then at what point do you draw that line? Just like you said, you know, I know just for myself, doing YouTube in general takes away from my family time. But at the same token, I also know that there's people also that need help too, and I try to help where I can. Trying to find that happy medium is the hard part. That's ultimately what this really comes down to. What about Ginger and Michelle? What do you guys say?
I'll let you go, Michelle, since you're clearer than me.
I am an overcommitter by nature. Whether it, see that, well, you know, that kind of, thank you for putting Mimi's Dishes comment up, because I was just gonna say something. That's a very good point. I am an overcommitter, and I know it, and I'm working on myself to know when to back off and allow somebody to work. And in my professional life, I'm a manager of people, and I lead at work. And you want your team to succeed, and you want everybody to get everything done, but you also need to teach them how You need to teach them what they need to produce, okay? Show them how you've done it in the past, and then let them fly on their own. Let them fly solo.
Right.
And if you see that they're struggling, and let them know you're there. But sometimes they have to make a mistake just like you did to learn that ultimate, oh, now I get it kind of lesson.
Mhm. No, and it
Mhm.
makes sense. It's a good
And
point.
you can't, I mean, and it's nothing personal. And I always make sure they understand that, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to walk away from you and abandon you, but I do want you to give it a shot. You can run it by me before you let it go and everything else.
Right.
And I'm going to stop for 1 second and chase the squirrel. Nana, I love that blouse that you have on. Okay. It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Are you done squirreling now?
I'm done now. Thank you. I wanted to say it when I first was talking. It's
I
just lovely.
second that.
Okay. So pretty. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this
So
old
Jen-
thing.
What about you?
I always try to think of the old saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. And it really is so sorry. Something flying in the air. It really is so true. You can be there once and then be there again and be there again as support. But when you're the one that's constantly doing it, then you've got to just restructure how you go about it and say, okay, well, this time I'm going to let you do it and I'm going to watch you and make sure it goes right. So it's because you just don't want that to keep happening, especially if it's running your tank dry. I mean, if it's, so to speak. Michelle looked like something was going on.
My phone, my computer just went black. I'm like, what the heck? Am I plugged in? Okay, sorry.
I thought you had a snake or something running underneath your table.
No, I'm like, are we all plugged in here? Why are you turning black? I haven't used the computer all weekend, obviously.
I thought Leo was back at it again.
So, I mean, the other thing that really goes along with everything that everybody said, again, reiterating the same thing. We're not saying don't help people, but realize there's limitations. Realize there's a point where naturally, unfortunately, you will find yourself keep doing the same job for the same said person if you let them do that,
Yeah.
It's like what Joe says right here. Some of us don't have patience. And it works like that with your children or sometimes with your spouse. Oh, just let me do it. You just want to get it done and move on to the next thing. And it doesn't do anybody any good. You're frustrated. They feel, they might even have their feelings hurt. So you have to let people do it their own way. JJ and I fold towels differently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
And 28 years. 28 years we've been having this towel folding thing. And it's not, we don't fight about it, but it's just like, at the end of the day, we're both getting the towels folded when they need to be folded.
True.
And then you just have to walk away and say, well, good. They're in the linen closet. Yay us. Right?
Yeah.
So, do you roll or do you trifold?
No.
Trifold.
I roll the beach towels. And then we both trifold, but I trifold Martha Stewart style so I can get three nicely, 3 rows over. And he gets 3 rows, but I don't know how to fold like he folds. So I have my own towel shelf and he has his. And I just kind of let that go.
So we solved that problem here. We have a shelf. And then we have a hook rack that the rolled ones go in the hook rack. And then we have a shelf.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny, though? It's those little things, but there's no sense in arguing, right? I mean, just let it work because you're both still pulling the wagon in the same direction.
Right.
That's what matters.
I see Angela's joined us.
When
Thank
we're
you
doing
for coming
laundry, Joey folds my shirts different than I fold my shirts. They're different than I like my shirts folded. So he'll see me grab one he's folded and refold it. What I did do right, and I'm like, "You did great,
Yep.
Joey. It's good. It's all good. I'm just doing it the way I do them. It's okay. I will redo it. It's not a problem."
Ginger, I'm going to step away and get something that could solve all your problems.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Tony, to get us back to that, kind of a little bit back on there, Matthew 5, chapter 5, verse 42 reads, "Give to those who ask, and don't refuse those who wish to borrow from you." I know for us, we're very quick to think that we're helping someone who didn't ask for help.
Right.
So we're overextend ourselves to go out of our way to help them. They didn't ask for that help.
Right.
Yeah.
They may have asked for a small segment, but then we just continue on and on and on and on. And then we overextend ourselves then to the point of then we're frustrated with that individual because it's not going the way that we think.
Yeah.
It's a detriment to us and then our relationship with them.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
When they didn't even ask in the first place, right?
Right.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And I think it really, I mean, I'm actually glad you brought that up because to a sense, it really comes down to listening properly. They wanted, hey, Dale, how do you put a bed together? Oh, let me show you how to do it. And you go over and do it. Well, that's not the question I asked you. Can you give me instructions on how to put a bed together? I didn't ask you to go do it for me.
I wanted to do it, that kind of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see this helper.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Now
curious.
see I don't know what's going on with my screen. It's like getting shadowy and we have clouds. Maybe that's it. Ginger, it's called a flip fold.
Oh gosh, Joey would never use that. He would throw it in the burn barrel.
JJ swears by it. And so can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, my
It's
screen
very
is
clear.
black. Okay.
And I don't know what the sign is that's next to you, but it's like it is reaching out at us.
It's
Oh,
yeah.
Is that better?
That
Right
silver
next
It
to
sign.
looks
silver
like a
sign.
floating.
Is that
might
better?
be what it is.
You're fine.
It might be
It's
focused
just
on that.
there.
Is that better?
Yeah,
You're
it
fine.
looks like a floating image or something. It's pretty cool, Michelle.
No.
Okay, okay,
I thought-
that was a little scary.
I thought somehow you put a logo in your background.
Yes.
That's what I thought it was.
I was like,
No.
no, you should do that.
Yeah, that one right there.
It's cool. No, it's like it was like an advertisement. A fly fishing store was closing and they had all these little reel signs, like advertisement
cool.
things. And so when they were going
Yeah.
out of business, we picked it up and we just love it because it's on our fishing wall. So yeah, tell me if I need to adjust though, one way or the other.
No, you're fine.
I can't
You're
see
just
a
fine.
gosh darn thing at this point.
Oh
You're
wow.
right.
Okay, well, show us the folding board, how it works.
Oh, did I show it? Oh gosh, no. See, I can't show you because I can't see myself. I'll show you later.
Joe said, "What the
you
heck
go.
is that?"
Hey, you guys, it is the coolest thing ever. I'm telling you.
Where did you
Joey.
get it?
Oh,
Oh my gosh, I got it like 15
Amazon?
years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. If I can find one, Ginger, it'll be coming your way. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But all of your t-shirts look really good and professional. That's why we got them. It's pretty cool.
There you go. See, that's what I want. I don't want a crease down the center or across the
Yeah.
chest or the neck bunched up
Yeah.
or the sleeve bunched up. So
I will make this commitment to you. I will do a short using the flip fold later when I can get my camera angled right and I can show you how they go. How about that?
I love
yeah,
that.
you guys are in trouble before you even get started, Michelle. Joey said would use it to lay down under the tractor.
No, no, not. No.
Just
No,
don't get any
Joe.
grease on it, Joe. Just don't get any grease on it.
It's a wonderful crate folder.
No.
So funny.
So
And-
Suburban Hillbilly said that she had a friend that she would take all over the place. She asked her to drive her to the vet to get some meds for her dog, and she said she had other plans. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make here. Don't get yourself so intertwined into, well, hello, Miss Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Don't get yourself so intertwined that in the end of it, you're the one that's going to pay for it because that person isn't going to be there to help you. I think that's kind of where I was. But at the same token, it applies so many different ways, and there's so many possibilities of where your own demise can come from. Okay?
Yes.
So just be careful. That's ultimately what I'm saying. Go ahead.
And you set yourself up for disappointment, right?
Yes.
Because you think that it's going to be an equal relationship, and it may not be.
Right.
Yeah.
And the key to that is setting yourself up. Yes, I'll help, but then be conscious of what's the next help.
Mm-hmm.
Do they want me to help them, or are they asking me to do it for them? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we have Wendy Benjamin is in from Nova Scotia. Hello.
Angela, don't encourage him. Do not encourage Joey. He needs no encouragement. I promise.
Oh no, Angela, encourage away. Joey needs all the ideas he can get.
It's hilarious.
I bet he's out there in the garden now
He
going,
needs no encouragement.
that would work.
She right.
Is there anything else you guys would want to throw into that, or do we think we're beating a dead horse here?
No, I don't think we are.
No, I'm just be cautious for yourself.
Right.
When you feel
And
yourself
respect
getting
yourself.
stressed out, then back up a step, take a breath, and say, okay, what can I do to fix this so that I'm not stressed? And if your family is, it's not suffering, so to speak, but if it's taking away constantly from your family, you definitely got to take a step back.
And that I know and can almost assume all of us run into that problem. We do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to use myself as an example again. I am an overgiver, as Michelle said. I'm a self-admitted. My name's Dale. I'm an overcommitted.
Exactly.
I'm getting ready to start my 12-step program.
So at one point, I was very involved, very large in a civic organization. I was the president of the fair board. I was committed to a very demanding job. I had things at home, the normal home life stuff, and then was committing myself to other because people needed help, or I thought needed help.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty soon you don't do any of them good,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
including yourself, because all I found myself was that all I was doing was running around like a wild Indian trying to put fires out that I never started.
Right. And then you actually can get yourself into a pickle then, because now you are the one that they're going to go to put that fire out, even though you didn't start it, but you're the fire putter outer. So inevitably they'll come to you to do that.
That's called a firefighter. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
That sounds like something I would say. The fire.
Me too.
Mary Love Country Living. Thank you for coming in. Sorry.
Hi, Mary.
And I was talking about this on Wednesday on my channel, and I was calling it honesty because I had to be honest with myself about what I'm capable of doing, how much time there is in a day. I am living in a house that I have just neglected to do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a very, very dear friend come over this weekend and help me go into a room that it was that room you just put everything in until you can't even move in there.
Yeah.
And the friend was able to say, okay, now just take a step back, take my help, because God forbid I should ask for help. And now I have
know.
a very organized, beautiful space that I want to spend time in. So, you know, it's very hard to take help when you're the one who wants to always be the helper.
Bingo.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing that's important in the beginning, I said helping, caring, and respect. Respect isn't just to the person you're helping, it also is self respect. It's respecting what you want to accomplish and how you want to do that. And you need to be able to approach it from different angles so that you have a better understanding of the effect you're going to have or the ineffect you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's so this is I'm kind of getting deep, and it's going to feel like my video that comes out today is like a continuation of this, because I'm going to get into part of that. But you know, I go back into, like, I worked on people's stuff, you know, and would help them, and they were in a tight spot, like on a weekend when they couldn't get someone else or something like that, or because they financially weren't able to pay for someone else to do it, and I could, you know. But then I go back to the point, or start reflecting back, and now I've got myself to the spot, like, one day this week I had 12 different messages. Can you come work on this? Can you come work on that? And we have stuff here that hasn't got done.
Right.
So then I feel obligated to help them because I've helped them in the past. But then that's at the detriment to our own farm, our own family.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, and I think part of what we all have to learn, because at least I have to learn, I'll say it that way, is knowing where that cutoff point is, because then you turn into what you just said. Well, he helped once, so he'll be there to help me again, and he'll be there to help me again, and he'll be there to help me again.
And now he's my mechanic.
And I'm dependent on him. And if he can't do it, I'm screwed. Well, that's not really the case, but that's the perception people take on, you know. Don't get yourself in that position.
They always say the shoemaker's kids have no shoes.
That's an old good saying. I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all.
Now this whole conversation could be taken literal. It could be taken indirectly. It could be taking it to a point of just remembering it and filing it so you don't forget it, you know. But it really is dependent on your own situation and what it is that you have the struggle with. And I'm not saying everybody does. There might be people out there that this doesn't become a problem because they don't let it become a problem. But most of us don't function in that way. So
I've always respected that attribute in people. And it's an attribute that I would like to learn better, as, you know, not to steal from others in the chat, but that boundary, you know, those clear boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a hard thing to learn too, I would say for most people, that boundary, it's not clear. It's not always defined. It's not, and a lot of people don't have the ability to obtain that boundary line because they don't want to be mean. I mean, I get that. But if you don't,
no is a very difficult word to say.
It is.
Yeah, it is. But you know what is really easy to say? Let me check my schedule because I have some other commitments coming up of others that have something of me.
Yep.
And then that way you can't say, they can't say, you know, well, you know, you're always there for me. Well, yeah, but I have to be there for other people too. That could be a granddaughter's birthday party. It could be, you know, who knows what, just working in the garden, things, you know, you have to get done in 24 hours or you're going to have to start all over again. I mean,
exactly.
That's the best thing to say. Even though you want to, your heart says, okay, just make your mouth say, Let me check my schedule.
Right.
Look at
Right.
what I just found when I cleaned out that room.
There you
A
go.
2020
Planner?
desktop.
Calendar.
planner.
Yep.
It's just something I can even carry around. I have my phone, I have my iPad, I have this, I have that. But if I have this little thing that I have to go look at, I can even say, I don't have my planner with me right now. I'll have to go check it.
Yep.
And this is going to be my master planner. And then I actually bought dry erase boards that I can make 2 months ahead, the current month and the next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm setting them up and I'm putting my deadlines on them and I put an alarm on my phone. And that's how I'm going to try setting my own boundaries. I don't know if it'll work.
Well, I also find that what happens is we've gotten so used to using our phones and iPads that you get into that swipe mode, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you'll see
Like
the
when you have a
notif-
reminder on your phone or your
Yes.
computer.
Yeah,
And
and
you
then
just
you'll
dismiss it.
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Bye, Nina. Love you guys.
Patty laughs at me because I do that all the time. Bye bye.
Yeah.
So okay, Nina, thank you. Again, none of this is being stated in a negative way. It's just I want people to be cautious of thinking about those things, putting them out there. I mean, when Ginger was talking, it reminded me of that old saying. It takes 2 muscles to smile and 26 or something to frown. But human nature would be to frown first instead of smile. We will go the long road instead of the easy road. And it goes back to the just saying no. If you can't do it, you can't do it. You know?
And then there's another saying that we like to use, and that is under promise and over deliver. So I can do that for you in about a week, or I can do that for you in 2 weeks.
Right.
Boom. 4 or 5 days later, when it works for you, you've given it to them. You gave it to them earlier than they expected.
Yes.
But if you run into something
Yeah.
before then and you get it to them on time, you haven't failed anybody, and you've
Yes.
like I said, under promise and over deliver.
Right.
Yes. That's always better than vice
Exactly.
That
versa.
also it does work. It works 2 different ways, because I was just sitting here thinking, how many times have we all ran into, well, I was on a live last week, I won a prize and I didn't receive it. Okay, fair enough. Here's the information, I'll send it out. Now, I have my own issues with sending things out, so I'm not even going to go down that road, but you never get the flip side of that. You never get the, well, I didn't give you a timeline when I send it out. I send it out when I can, when I'm able to. You didn't hear me say that, so don't criticize me because you think I've done something wrong. But I do find a lot of people will say, hey, I'm not trying to bug you. I just want to let you know I haven't gotten it, or if there is a problem, let me know. So it works both ways is all I'm trying to say. It's not that nobody wants to do things and nobody wants to help people and nobody wants to commit to things. But when somebody does come up and they say, I'm unable to do that, don't hold it against them, because at least maybe they're letting you know that ahead of time so that you and they don't become at a point, I guess.
Right. Yeah, there's some good comments over here in the chat.
Yeah, there is.
It's very, very hard to ask for help. I completely agree, because if you fail, well, you probably beat yourself up a whole lot more than they have even given it thought.
Right.
And that's because you're, oh, I know what's going on. My computer's going to sleep if I don't touch it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, that's better than the thought process.
Yes.
Sorry. Squirrel.
Yep.
But,
Ordering a new computer as soon as this live is over. No.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's not that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's a very, very real thing, because if you are conscientious, you will beat yourself up, and then I don't know about you guys, but you can almost paralyze yourself
Yes.
your own thoughts, right? You just
Mhm.
bury yourself in guilt
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
everything else. And sometimes you just have to just take a deep breath, walk away, tell the people, I'm sorry. Even if you spaced it, you're human.
Yes.
You're
We
human.
all
And so if
make
you spaced it,
mistakes.
if you lost it, well,
Yeah.
and plus, oops, sorry, reach out to somebody before you make a big stinky do. Just reach out to the person and say,
Stinky
hey.
do.
I love that. But it also goes along with my saying that I've said in the past, and our great friend Blue says it too. Analysis from or paralysis from analysis. Like you get so
Yes.
overwhelmed that you're afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know,
And you freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just say
I
real
find
And
quick?
you get
myself-
nothing
Dark Lord
done.
Minute, can I just say you're welcome, Dark Lord Minute, very much. And you have another package that was mailed out yesterday that is on the way, and you should get that by Wednesday.
I get what Suburban's saying here. And my thing is always, at least for me, ask. If I say no, don't be offended. If I say yes, then there you go. At least you've asked, and
Mm-hmm.
and Tony,
I get Suburban
I'm gonna-
Hillbilly. I'm the same way. She's
Me too.
saying that. I am guilty of that as well. I will try to move something, and then Joey will come over. Why didn't you come get me? Why are you trying to do this by yourself? Because inside I'm still 20. Leave me alone.
Exactly.
that was
What
a
were you
real
gonna
hard
say?
Ryan,
thing.
you're going to be down for a week, Ginger, after you've moved that dresser or couch
know,
by
I know.
yourself.
I
Remember
know.
when we could just go into a living room and rearrange it, and move everything
Couches.
around?
Move
Yeah.
chair.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna lift the
Yeah.
couch up and vacuum with the other hand. Those days
Yeah.
are gone.
Yes.
And you know,
Woman, that's me.
Dale, what were you gonna say?
well, I was gonna say, it goes along the same line that I'm gonna use my great friend Tony here. When him and I have talked in the past, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna be like out of town, so I can't be on whatever live.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony has such grace, gives me such grace. He's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. You can't
Right.
be there. You need to tell me.
Right.
Yeah.
Where myself, I'm like, I can't tell him. I got to figure out how I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah.
He stews about it for a while before he tells you.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. I mean, because we've all said it before, especially here, is that I know a lot of people, if they watch my lives long enough, they know who is on my lives. It's not a question of who comes on my lives, okay? That's from personal preference, because I don't open my lives up to just the chat and everybody hopping up, because I want to have control, in the sense of, I know Dale and Lisa, and I know Ginger and Joey, and I know JJ and Michelle are not going to get up here, smoke a joint, cuss off, and strip down to nothing on their clothes. I don't have to
I was
worry
gonna
about
do that next
Nobody
Sunday.
wants to see that.
I'm just kidding.
Anyways, my
sideways.
But
point
you do,
is,
you know that we all have a code that we're gonna follow because
Yes.
we've talked about it,
Yes.
and there's not gonna be a loose, like a loose
Right.
comment or
Right.
somebody slip up, and
Now,
that's very
and
true.
just for people in chat, so they know it. Ask these guys. From lessons learned, it now takes us a while to just put people up on the screen, because
Mhm.
you just don't know. That's the easiest way to put it. And then until you do know, you're not gonna know.
I think we've
Yeah.
all been there. I think
Yes.
every channel here has been there before.
Yes.
Um,
And that's not to say that we won't have other people on it. It's just right now,
Yeah.
these are the channels that we know we don't have to worry about. Or, I mean, in all honesty, if it's a channel that's got 300,000 subscribers, they do videos all the time, you know what their style is just from watching them. So you
Yeah.
get the idea I don't have to worry about MT Homestead coming up on my channel because I know they're not going to do anything that would jeopardize my channel. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope.
Makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
With that being said, though, back to what Dale was saying, there's an expectation on my part. It's a assumed expectation, but the expectation can be severed at any time if you have things you have to do, job, family, travel, you got other plans, things like that, and we just accommodate the best we can. That's just the way it works, you know. I personally don't like doing lives with nobody up here because it makes it boring as far as I'm concerned. But
it's really hard to keep it going.
It is. But there has been a couple times I've had to do it that way, and it is what it is. I mean, no hard feelings about it. So
can we say
that's the only thing?
Hopefully she does. Mary Love, we hope you feel better. We will say prayer
Thank you, Ginger.
either after the live or at the end or some. Tony doesn't usually do it, but Dale's here and Dale usually does it.
Pastor Dale will help us with whatever we need.
Yeah, she said that she had a fever and it broke. So yes, girl, we got you. You know, more than two come together.
Yep.
We'll pray for you.
So that also goes along with another point that I was trying to get to earlier, Tony, and then I lost my train of thought. But you know,
not that any of us didn't help you with that.
Is, you know, physically, like I have complete nerve damage in my arm and I have back problems. So I physically can't do what I used to be able to do.
Right.
As not only a man, that makes me very, you know, anxious and things along that line. Uneasy to ask somebody to help me.
Mm-hmm.
But to go along with the same lines of what Ginger's just touching on with Mary here, it has made me discover, you know, instead of physically helping someone or providing for them, if nothing else, I can pray for them. You know, I mean, that's the simplest thing ever I can do.
Right.
And what greater thing than to lift someone up like that? But if you're not even one of faith, just the fact that you've acknowledged the need and then your eyes are open of how you could solve that need for them. Maybe you know someone who could help them, and it's no longer a burden on yourself or taking away from you.
Yes.
It's like being a gift giver and a gift receiver. Do you get a lot of pleasure from giving somebody a gift and find it hard and humbling when they return the favor?
Yes.
That's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Very hard
I
to
get embarrassed and ashamed, like, oh, not even, I don't think it's shame, but I don't even know what the feeling is. It's like so difficult to take a gift, take a compliment, take assistance.
And you immediately want to reciprocate, like right away. You're like, okay,
and then you feel like you owe them right this very minute.
Yes,
but
no, I get it.
The world goes around, it's karma. Yeah. I might not give back to you, but I might, Ginger, let's say you do something for me. Well, Dale needs something or Nana needs something down the road, and I pay it forward to them. So
I really like. Oh, go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
Ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love the thought process of paying it forward because then you don't feel like you have terms, if that makes any sense. If I want to pay it forward back to the person that gave it to me, that's great. If I want to pay for it to someone else, that's wonderful because they get to experience it as well, you know? So I just love the thought process of it. So.
I had a good older friend who's now passed on tell me years ago, because they offered me help. There was no way I could repay it. I felt so bad about it, would apologize about it continuously. And they finally made the comment to me of, don't be the person that doesn't allow someone else the blessing of giving.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
That's a
deny
good
them their blessing of a giving of a
Mm-hmm.
gift because you're not willing to receive.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
they
you
want
know how
that
good it
for you.
feels to give.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And if
Yeah.
if they are moved enough, even if to send you a card, receive it, and I know it's hard, it's difficult, but receive it, and then that way, no, I don't know. You got to take
We
it.
get you.
Yep. Yep.
Not everyone is looking for the recognition of the gift that they have sent.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I do again back to the within reason. Be leery that there are people out there
Mhm.
that do that. So
Yes.
I agree with what
Yes.
everybody just said and how we're looking at it. I guess my overall thing was do what you should do what you're supposed to do what feels right in your heart and your mind and your soul, and let it be faith-based if that's what you choose, or don't. But don't let it get so overwhelming that you're side blinded down the road because you didn't see it coming.
Oh,
Well,
I like
and
what
then like if you get something and you're I'm sorry, Ginger, you go ahead.
No, I just said I like what Rena said. A good leader must also be a good follower.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A good
Mhm.
gifter must also be a good receiver.
Yeah.
And that is,
Yeah.
I've never heard it put like that, and I really like that.
I agree. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Michelle.
I think well, okay, so I'll tell you guys. I'll tell to you right now. I have received several things in the mail in the PO box. I have 2 mail calls sitting on my computer that are over a month and a half old.
Mhm.
Now I'm like
Yeah.
in my head, it's kind of late. You look kind of silly because the postmark on it is like, February 1st. It's May. So then there's that internal struggle. It's like we were talking about a little while ago. Now I'm in my own head about it, right? I should just
Beating
thank
yourself
the
up.
people who did it. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be out there and large and in charge on YouTube. Just be humble, thank the people, let them know that you were hey everybody on here. I received everything, and that's great.
Michelle is
But,
going to start going down the list. Okay, number 1.
No, she's not. She's not. But you know who you
I'm
are,
just kidding.
and know that I really appreciate it, right? But at a certain point, you seriously have to just let it go, let it be in the universe, and move on. Because
Yeah.
I beat myself up for 2 weeks into paralysis, and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is silly.
Yeah. When the
Very
boys
silly.
were
There's something.
born,
Sorry.
they were born at 31 weeks, and I didn't realize that the church, so we had moved from one church to another church, and the newer church, for like 2 months, they knew that we were going back and forth to the NIC unit with the boys and everything, and they knew we had twins. And every night for a month, I think it was a month. Joey, you'll have to correct me in chat because I had twin brain then. They brought us dinner or a box of snacks or something like that. And I can't tell you how many times I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to get people situated so we could go to the hospital, and I grabbed one of those snacks or got home from the hospital, what are we going to eat? And then here pulls up a car full of an entire box with dinner. I mean, it was just
Right.
amazing, and it was very hard, but gosh, I was so grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, prepping for heaven, and you're never too late. You're here when you're supposed to be.
You might want to rewatch it though, because this kind of follows along with a lot of comments I've seen you make. You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just saying. Oh, Ginger, I
Same.
want to tell you, I heard you on your live with Blue. I don't know if it was this past Thursday or the Thursday prior, when you were talking about the nurse that put your babies together
Yes.
when they were little. Now, I was sitting there like I have goosebumps thinking about it. I was moved to tears because what an
Mhm.
intuitive, thoughtful human being she was.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She
Wow.
was. And it took a lot to do that because they had IVs, they had leads, they had, they were just had wires everywhere. And to get an incubator that was big enough for twins, and then to rewire this one and rewire this one and then bring this one over and put them together. I mean, I watched her do it once. It took her at least 30 minutes to do that one thing. But you would immediately see them roll to each other. I mean, it was like they were like, oh my gosh, it's my womb mate.
Where have you been?
Yeah,
Where you
I mean,
been?
they would be lost. They were together their whole,
Yeah.
pre-air life, I guess, right?
Yes. So yeah, it was.
And so
pretty
to be
awesome.
separated like that would be devastating. And then they're scared and they're cold and they're lonely and oh my, I just can't imagine.
She was absolutely. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but she absolutely knew her calling, and that was it. I mean, she followed through with it because that's where she was meant to be, is with them.
Cool. And she very well could have saved one or both of their lives by doing that and changing the whole course of who they are.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't want to chase that squirrel, but that was such an endearing story. I mean, just like you don't hear about people going above and beyond like that all the time, and it makes us such. You're talking about how old are your twins? You'll never
22,
forget.
almost 23.
Yeah.
No.
See, you'll never forget that.
Nope. Oh.
So anything else that you guys would like to add to the thought process?
Just make sure and keep yourself and your family in mind before you commit. Commit and help. We want to help others. That's how we learn. I mean, if you don't know how to do something, you obviously want to. But when people, like if I ask somebody, I don't want to ask them again. I either write it down in a notebook or something like that, so that I don't have to, what I feel like is bugging them. I don't have to bug them. So just be cognizant of your own commitments and your family, and make sure and stay true to yourself so that you don't have that, because we all know what it feels like when you don't get something done for somebody. Like you said, you feel horrible and you beat yourself up. You don't want to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to be
that's
in
where the
situation.
self-respect is.
Right.
You don't want to be in that situation like I found myself in, when then I have to eat crow and say, I just can't get to it. I know you've waited for a while. I just can't do it.
Right.
And that's harder than just saying, let me look into it. Like Ginger said,
Yes.
There we go. Ginger said.
Yeah.
It's easier to go take a look at it and make sure. I'm so bad at that.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Tony, don't do that. Okay, so let's see. Oh, look at that. I did it. Don't you do that, Tony. Working out.
Oh, my goodness. Now I'm going to play
Jack Tony in the corner.
Miss Tiffany.
Lori, the theme was helping, caring, and respect to others within reason. So let that mull over in your head for a little while.
It's been a very, very nice roundtable discussion and the chat and everybody, because
Oh,
at the end
let
of
me
the
tell
day,
you,
this is all about gratitude as well. It
Right.
all,
Mhm.
this
you
has
know,
been a
isn't-
great small group discussion for me today.
Yes.
and I needed to hear it too, Tiffany. I did. I am working so hard on myself to accept help and set my own boundaries. And it is not easy because after 50 some odd years of being a doer and a giver, I've
Yeah.
got to let other people help.
Yep.
I think that comment right there says a lot.
Yes.
Oh,
It does.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that is very sweet, Suburban Hillbilly.
And honestly,
Well-
none of the lives would be the same without you and so many
That's
people
right.
in the
Yes.
chat,
Yeah.
right?
I
I mean, just because
love
you're not on
our
camera,
chat.
you're still part of this.
Yes, I
You know-
love
Oh, yeah.
our chats.
Some of this chat
Yes.
follows into like our individual lives, you know,
Hmm.
by not only
Yeah.
lives as in our life, but our YouTube lives.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys don't understand how much of a blessing you are as supporters and chatters.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I love that right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That
And
Yeah.
it's just like a
sums
Right.
it up right there.
and it's like a family. You're gonna know after time somebody overcommits. I'll raise
Yeah.
my hand. Somebody overcommits
do.
because I'm Jojo the monkey boy and I jump in full force. I'm so excited and enthusiastic. And I don't
Yep.
think about my boundaries. And
Yep.
then, but then you get to know each other as a family and you might even pick up the phone and say, "Are you sure you're able to do that? Are you sure?" And that's caring about each other instead of getting on the phone with somebody else and saying, "Oh my God, man, she is so freaking flaky." Instead, you pick up the phone and you call the person because you respect them. Just going back to the word respect, you
Yep.
respect them enough to be a friend and offer them a way out, offer them assistance, offer them whatever they need.
Yeah.
And that's a gift in itself.
So, Dale, do you mind? We're almost done. Do you mind leading us? We don't normally do it this way on here, but we've been requested, so we have two different requests. Did you see them both?
I see him.
Okay.
Yep.
If you would do that to close this out, I would appreciate that. Thank you, everybody.
You bet. Let's go to the Lord with prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together. God, it is such a blessing for all of us to lean on each other, Lord, that you brought us together to be those great pillars in each of our lives. God, we have a couple requests that have been brought to our attention, Lord, that you already know about, but we want to audibly speak them to others, Lord. We ask that you be with our friend Mary. Lord, she's been ill, and we ask that you heal her, Lord, from this fever and this sickness, Lord, so that she can be here joyous, fellowship with all of us, Lord, and to bring us content and just heal her from that, God. God, we praise you for the healing that you have helped Natasha with, Lord, and we ask that you continue
Mhm.
healing her from this disease, Lord, and that you keep her scans clear. And Lord, cancer is such a detriment. Lord, it's a disease that just affects everyone in some way, shape, or form, God. And if it's within your will, we ask that you remove that from our lives, Lord, if at all possible. God, we ask that you be with everyone here as we part and bring us all back together again next week so we can grow and love on each other as a community. All this we ask in your son's wonderful name. Amen.
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 Amen. That was
I did
wonderful,
see
Dale.
Dale.
That was beautiful.
That was wonderful. Thank you. I did see Beth Cornett come in. So here's what the way I'm going to start doing this at the end of the night. We're going to be smart. think ahead, meal prep with these, and preserve. Remember that. Look at your guys' names on the screen. Isn't that kind of cool?
I
Yep.
love it.
Oh, I like that.
Thank
You are
you,
so
everybody,
sweet,
and we'll
Brian.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week and be well.